Hi, my name is Eva Ortiz, and this is my home energy audit. For background, I live in a single-family home located in Uptown, Minneapolis. It was built in 1906. It is 2,879 square feet. It has a wood frame. Its heating system is gas, and it does not have a cooling system. Home energy use. A similar style single-family house in Minneapolis of similar size, about 2,900 square feet, typically uses 12,564 kilowatt hours per year, or 1,047 per month. A home energy breakdown is in a typical Minnesota house is heating is 40%, appliances and electronics is 30, water heating 20%, air conditioning 5%, and refrigeration 5%. Typical energy use for devices I measured. Phone charger is about 0.01 kilowatt hours. A watch charger is 0.001. Laptop charger and laptop and charger is 0.03. Hair dryer 0.8. Space heater 0.75. Air fryer 1.4 and rice cooker 0.3. Here are the images of all of my measurements of devices as well as the light bulb I used, which was a 10-watt light bulb. For the daily log of device use, I had two people in my house this week, me and my mom. And so I just had each of us have like a notes document of when we started using device and when we stopped. And then at the end of the week, I tallied or I added up all of the times for each day for each device. And then was able to spread it out in Google Sheets across each day by device to get an overall view of the amount of time each device was used throughout the week, as well as which device was used like the most each day. For the calculations, for a constant energy device, you would multiply the number of hours on by the amount of energy in kilowatt hours when it's on, and then the number of hours off by how much energy is when it's off, and then sum those two together. For a variable device, it depends on how long you recorded it for. So if you did like a 24 hours, then however many kilowatt hours you recorded over that 24-hour period would be how many kilowatt hours it uses per day. And if you wanted to do that per hour, you would just divide that by 24. So it depends on how long you would record that. And then for the light, you would multiply the light bulb watt amount by the number of hours used. So some examples is for a constant device use, like the phone charger, it used 0.014 kilowatt hours when it was on and 0.01 when it was off, and say it was on for 5.1 hours per day. So I would multiply the 0.014 by the 5.1 and then the 0.01 by the 18.9 hours off, and then add those two together to get 0.2604 kilowatt hours per day. For a variable device like the space heater, I recorded it over 24 hours, so it was 13.61 kilowatt hours per 24 hours. But say you wanted to determine per hour, you would just take that 13.61 and divide it by 24. Or if you had it in a number of hours, like say you recorded for only an hour, you would multiply it by 24 to see how much it would be per day. And then for the light, since it was a 10-watt light bulb, and say it was on for 2 hours, I would multiply the 10 watts by the 2 hours to get 20 watts per hour. And if I divide that by 1,000, it would be 0.02 kilowatt hours. For my measurement of devices, I used the Google Sheet and it showed me it was able to calculate how much each device used per day and then how much it would use per month. And so based off this, for my 8 devices, they would use 14.22 kilowatt hours per day. And over a month, we'd use 427.2 kilowatt hours. And overall, these fared pretty similar to the typical energy used per devices, given a phone charger uses 0.01 kilowatt hours and mine used 0.014, and the watch chargers typically use 0.01 and mine was 0.001 and mine was 0.003. And for some of them they varied a little, but for the most part they were all pretty similar. And as for the total energy use, mine was 427 per month typically. And that seems pretty reasonable given most of these are like high heat energies. And given it's kind of still colder, heating is the largest energy use in Minnesota homes. And so it fares pretty similar with it. I did find it interesting that all of the The two devices that are mainly heat are actually three. The hairdryer, the space heater, and the air fryer all used the most energy by like a significant amount. Given over the 24-hour time period, a space heater used 13.61 kilowatt hours. One way that I could reduce energy in the house is to just cut back on the space heater, given if I didn't have it going for 24 hours, but instead only had it going for, say, 16 hours and like turn it off while I was asleep or something, it would decrease the energy used by the space heater by 33% or 4.49 kilowatt hours and would decrease the overall energy by about 1%. Here are all of my resources that I used. Thank you so much.